Hi, this is Matt from tracyandmatt.co.uk, and here I have the Archos 5 Internet Media Tablet. This is the model that has the proprietary OS and 120GB hard drive. There is also an Android powered version of the Archos 5, which we hope to look at a later date. But as I say, this is the one with their proprietary OS on it. So we're going to take a quick look at it, do an unbox for you, and have a little look at the user interface. So immediately on top we have the tablet itself, which we're going to have a look at in a bit more detail in just a second. Just want to have a look at what else is provided. So first of all, we have a USB to proprietary style connector there, which actually plugs into the bottom of the tablet, like so. The connector at the bottom, and that's used for synchronization, so you can actually copy media to and from the tablet, and also in order to charge the tablet. So that's the USB cable. We then have this little dock adapter, because you can buy different docking stations for the tablets from Archos. They do come with this adapter, so this is the one that actually is for the Archos 5, so that actually does go onto the docking stations that you can purchase. And then we do have a set of headphones, and let's look at those. These are pretty standard looking, not terribly exciting or exceptional headphones. We do have a 3-pole 3.5mm jack, so you can use any old headphones. It's not special headphones that are required, but these ones are Archos branded. Say they're not exceptional, they're kind of average, and they're not particularly heavy. I'm sure you'll probably want to use your own favourite headphones rather than the ones supplied. We then have a quick start guide, which covers the Archos 5 and the Archos 7, and it's just really the basics of getting started, charging up, using the internet, and basic functionality. There is then an essential add-ons leaflet here, which tells us about a DVR station, which is where this essential adapter does come in. So you purchase the DVR station, and then you actually have the adapter to go with it. That's pretty cool because it allows you to record live TV, and then you've got mini dock and DVR snap-ons, various accessories actually that they try to upsell you. So that's quite cool. There's also a thing about the games for the Archos, different games packs that you can purchase and download, and a thing for 53 MP3s. Then there's legal information and safety notices in a variety of languages there. There's a cleaning cloth for the screen. That's going to be quite useful because it's touch screen, and obviously you're going to get your fingers all over it. And then there is another manual there, or getting started guide, which is in 3 other languages, so that's just a repeat of the one that we've already seen. So that's all we get in the box. You'll notice there's no mains charger. You do have to charge using the USB cable. You can buy a mains charger if you choose, but that isn't provided as standard. Again, that's something they try and upsell you. They seem to be quite keen to do the upselling of their products, so that's kind of interesting. So on the front, let's just peel that off. We have a 4.8-inch touchscreen, TFT touchscreen LCD on the front. It is 800 by 480 pixels, common resolution being used among many devices at the moment, be it mobile phones or in this case tablets. So 800 by 480, decent resolution. Looking around the device itself, on one side here we have the power button and a couple of LEDs. One is the charge status LED. It's on solid when it's charging and flashing when it's fully charged. And the other one is the power light that just tells us when we actually have power. On the bottom we have 2 connectors that kind of look like HDMI connectors. They sadly aren't HDMI connectors, but they are actually feature connectors. So that's where we plug in our USB sync charge cable, external charger if we buy one, the DVR station. They're actually just a copy of one another. I believe that's just 2, because you can have charge and external. There's also a USB 2.0 compliance there, so when you actually use the USB cable, that's a USB 2.0 compliant connector. You can also buy an adapter that allows you to use the tablet as a USB host, so you can plug in external memory cards or USB memory sticks, or also if you wanted to do external hard drives. And interestingly, you can also use external USB keyboards and mice, so that's quite cool. But that's really all that you have on the bottom. On the right hand side we have the headphone connector, which as I say is a 3.5mm headphone connector, so you can use standard headphones. Then there's an up and down volume control rocker. That is a loudspeaker grill. There isn't one on the other side. It's just mono output there, but it does allow you to use it without headphones if you want to stand it on your table. Speaking of standing on the table, we do have a little kickstand, which is metal, so it's fairly sturdy and does allow us to actually stand the unit up. So you can actually have it sitting on a table, if you want to, or if you're on a train or on the plane, you can use that and actually have it on your seat back table in front of you, so that's quite cool. Really nothing to see on the top. I'll say we've already covered the bottom, and the only thing on the back is that kickstand. Nothing else apart from obviously the logo there. All pretty standard. As I say, this is a 120 gig model. If I just power up, while I'm just waiting for that to come on, let me just run through the rest of the specification. We do have a 600 MHz Cortex processor, and there also is a dedicated sound processor, 32-bit digital sound processor, which is quite cool. Only 128 meg of RAM, which may seem a little low, but it does seem to work quite well. This has a physical hard drive built in it rather than flash storage. You can actually feel it when it's working. You can feel it clicking away in your hand, and you can hear it spinning from time to time. It does make it feel fairly heavy and kind of chunky in your hand though. It is 300 grams, this model. The lower spec model, one with the 60 gig hard drive, is slightly lighter at 250, but say this one is 300 grams, so it does feel kind of heavy. Size 127mm wide, 78mm tall, and 19.4mm thick. Quite chunky when you're used to sort of handling things such as large screen mobile phones. It does feel just a completely different beast. I appreciate it's obviously not not a mobile phone. It is a media tablet and for playback, but it's just that comparison being there, it does feel quite chunky. So to actually look at the user interface, interesting user interface, and the screen is really good. It's not shiny. It's kind of a matte finish, so it does mean that it kind of even in this sort of bright reflective environment, you can see there is some reflection, but it isn't terrible by any means, and the display is really quite clear. We can actually look through the user interface, so we can play video, and the touch screen is extremely sensitive. It is resistive rather than capacitive, so you can use something hard to press it like a fingernail or a stylus if you wanted to use one. But it does just really work very sensitively. So I can choose a video, and a video will play back, and the video playback is, well, pretty exceptional, to be honest with you. It's doing what it does best, and that is work as a media device. So it's very good, and we can stop the playback and we can go back to home, and we can look at music, and music is all arranged. You can show what is on your hard drive, and it would also list anything that's on external media. And there's item 1 from the Gorillas there, and it just plays back quite nicely. You've got your controls underneath, and the volume control we can either use on screen or at the side, and we can exit out of that. If we exit back to the home screen, if it's music, then it still plays, and we can actually just pause that and go back home. You've got web radio, you can look at photos, and there are some that are already sort of pre-installed that you can actually look at. I'll actually go into one of those. And for photos, again, the quality is pretty much exceptional on the actual screen. I'm hoping that comes across fairly well in the video, but the screen quality is excellent, absolutely excellent, and I think that's a lot to do with the actual finish of the screen as well. But the colour reproduction is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. There are games and Flash applications that we can look at. We don't have any installed or any Flash apps. We do have some games. We have some play and TV games. I'll actually have a look in there. And we have golf, and Tactics 7, Texas Hold'em, and Sudoku. And we come back out of there. We then have TV. We can look at a program guide, TV scheduler, look at any recordings or Freeview, anything that we've used the DVR dock for. We then have the internet. We can use web, email, contacts, and connect. Look at our different connections. If we go to the web, it'll just connect up. It's asking me to register. I will register later. Interestingly, this is the second time that I have started up. I obviously set up the Wi-Fi connection the first time out, but when I actually did set up the first time, the first thing that came up on the display that it tried to do was actually sell me add-ons. One of the add-ons it was trying to sell me was the DVR, and the other one was the charging cable. So it's kind of interesting that the device actually tries to sell add-ons to you as you go along, and when it actually presents those to you, it actually suggests that you go to the Archos website to look at the add-ons that are available. So here we are with the browser. The first time I launched the browser, it did ask me to update the firmware on the device, which I did. It took only a few minutes. So this is looking at the latest version. Opera browser is installed, which is flash capable. I'll just go back into that, turn the screen back on, which is flash capable, as I say. We can go to various addresses. We can type into the search there, or I can type in and go to a URL, and I'll go to our website and we'll go OK. And it all loads pretty quickly. The rendering time is very good. It loads probably about as quickly as you would see on any other Wi-Fi device. Loads probably about as quick as, say, the iPhone. I am obviously working over Wi-Fi. Our Wi-Fi connection or our broadband connection isn't exceptional where we live, but it works quite well. The display is quite good, certainly readable in that format. You can obviously scroll the display. The only thing I don't like about the scroll on the display, it doesn't scroll with any sort of momentum, which you kind of get used to if you're used to using the iPhone, that you can actually just flick the screen up and it will continue to scroll. This doesn't do that. You actually have to scroll and stab at the display in order to make it scroll. But that's kind of just a small point, but you kind of get the idea that you do have to do that. It does get a little frustrating. I wonder if they could actually update that with different versions of the firmware or Opera. But that's the browser for you very quickly. Email, well, I don't have any email set up, but you can choose your country. You've got an auto configuration here at the top. You can choose to set up Gmail, Yahoo or Hotmail, or if you want to set up a manual configuration, the choices you have are IMAP or POP3. Sadly, there's no Exchange support, which would be really nice if that was added. Perhaps that will be at some point, but Exchange support would be good. Sadly, not at the moment. Then you've got Media Club to do with music, movies, and so on. And also you have tools, so you can go into your settings and set up the settings for various things, from sound, screen to the appearance, language and connectivity, date time, all those sorts of things. Everything you'd expect to really do on a device like this. Go back to home screen. We can also set up widgets, so we can add widgets to the touch screen. So I can add in a RSS newsreader. That would be quite good. Let's add that. You can actually have a look at that. And that allows us to set up the configuration of the RSS, and we can go back home. We can actually add that to display here over on the right hand side if we wanted to. And then we've got various add-ons, and when we talk about add-ons, these are things that it wants to sell you, that it wants you to buy. So GPS being one of them, and it talks about upselling GPS and tells us about the different mount that we can get for the car. Likewise with the DVR station, it talks about selling us the DVR station. So it is interesting that it is actually using itself as a marketing tool as well. So that is a very quick tour of the Archos 5. I'm going to be reviewing it over the next couple of weeks. Going to be using it as a internet device as well as a media player on my journeys around the UK when I'm on the train, stuff like that. So going to have a review for you over the next couple of weeks. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter. On Twitter we are Tracy and Matt. We're running a competition at the moment where you can win the fantastic Motorola milestone, so definitely worth checking us out on Twitter. And on Facebook we are tracyandmatt.co.uk, so definitely check us out on those. Good chances to win the Motorola milestone. So review will be on tracyandmatt.co.uk over the next couple of weeks. If you missed any of that information, just check out the first title page of this video, which has all the URLs that you need, and don't forget to come and follow us.